Let's now hear from Johannesburg Emergency Services spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi, who joins us for an update on the wet roads on Christmas. Mr. Mulaudzi, good to have you on the program this afternoon. Could you give us firstly an overview of the current weather conditions in Johannesburg and how the rainfall has impacted the city and its residents?
Good afternoon, and afternoon to the viewers out there. Yes, we have been receiving a lot of rainfall in most parts of the city of Johannesburg. We are told that the rainfall, we might receive it up until midweek, sometime Wednesday, and also we are told even that week of the New Year, we might also get some rainfall. But so far, we have not yet received any major incident in our all 7 regions of the city of Johannesburg, mostly especially our most vulnerable communities, our low-lying areas, which is mostly our informal settlements. So far, we have not yet received any major incidents, but we still pleading with them to exercise caution as and when they're conducting their daily activities to try and avoid crossing river streams, and also try and monitor young kids to stay away from river streams. We know now it's school holidays, young kids are at home, it's festive season, so they might be tempted to play next to these areas, which might cause drowning incidents. And of course, our motorists who are driving in most parts of the city of Johannesburg to extend the safe following distance and also try and avoid areas which might be flooded, like bridges and roads which might be flooded.
You're quite right, Mr. Mulaudzi, in that low-lying areas are often affected by these type of weather patterns. Are there specific areas or even neighborhoods facing significant challenges due to the rain?
Yeah, most of our river streams in the city, if you look at the water levels, we have had a lot of rainfall in the last month or two. The water levels are much more higher now. If you look at Jackskay, which is along in the area of Alexander, Kalfontein, which is mostly in Ivory Park area, and also Deep Valley River Stream, which is cutting across most parts of Soweto, Kliptown and surrounding areas. So River Stream also, the water levels are much more higher. So we are monitoring those streams because we know now that when we have this kind of rainfalls, our residents, most especially our residents who are believe in these activities of baptisms and rituals, they are tempted to go to these areas now that the water levels are much more higher to conduct cleansing and baptism rituals. So we're pleading with them, to make sure that they, as and when they conduct these activities, they exercise caution. They ensure that the congregants or the people who are participating in these rituals are much more safer, so that we can be able to prevent. You are aware, Ntanta, that in the last month or so, we've had incidents where people were washed away when they were trying to conduct these cleansing rituals. So from our side, we are on high alert. We're monitoring all 7 regions of the city. We've got all our 30 fire stations throughout the city of Johannesburg fully operational. Most of our members, they didn't go on leave to spend time with their families. They're on the ground to make sure that we've got enough boots on the ground to respond to emergencies. Our specialized water-related unit, which is our aquatic rescue unit, is also on high alert. We've got our disaster management monitoring teams in all 7 regions of the city. So from our side, we should be able to respond to all the emergencies which might occur, not only this week, but throughout the festive season, December, January, holiday season.
So let's speak about your level of preparedness, Mr. Mulaudzi. How well prepared is the city's infrastructure for heavy rains? Are there any upgrades or even initiatives to mitigate the impact?
Yeah, I think since we've had a lot of rainfall, I think we've had a number of initiatives from our colleagues from JRA and other city stakeholders in terms of the infrastructure. But from our side, as the fire service, which is responsible for responding to emergencies and disasters in the city of Johannesburg, we have taken a strategy of, we call it prevention is the future. So we are investing more energy and resources in our public education efforts. So we are out there on the ground educating our communities about the safety precautions, the dangers of, as and when we have this kind of weather conditions, what is it that our residents can do, mostly in terms of disaster preparedness. What is it that they can practically do when we have, other weather conditions like the ones which we have. So in terms of us empowering our communities, we are on the ground making sure that our residents are empowered with the necessary skills to be able to deal with emergencies as and when they occur in their communities, especially in our most vulnerable communities, which is mostly our informal settlements. We've had a number of initiatives in those areas, and of course not forgetting our residents in our other areas like our townships and also suburban areas. We encouraging our residents to continue to utilize our public education centers, which we call Be Safe centers, which are spread in all 7 regions of the city. Most of these centers are based in our fire stations. Like for instance, if you look at Soweto, we've got about 3 Be Safe centers in the area of Soweto where our residents can be able to visit these centers, and they can be able to be trained in terms of life and fire safety educational programs. All the safety programs which we feel that our residents will need as and when we have emergencies, those programs are there. So we will still be continuing with our public education efforts in our shopping malls now that most of our residents now, as we speak, you can only find them mostly in our malls. So we'll continue to make sure that we conduct our public education efforts in those areas like shopping centers, malls, to make sure that as and when we move from the Christmas day towards the New Year's Eve, our residents are aware as to how they can be able to look after themselves. Because you will know, Ntanta, that around New Year's Eve, we will have issues of fireworks and people using these things unsafely. So from our side, our public education efforts are continuing throughout the festive season to make sure that our residents are informed about water-related emergencies and also, the safe use of fireworks as we move into the new year.
So you've spoken extensively about the role that residents can play in supporting emergency services during challenging weather conditions. But are there any specific channels or platforms for real-time updates that residents should monitor?
Yes, we've got a very good social media platform, Ntanta. If you look at the City of Johannesburg social media, your Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all those social media platforms, we've got a specialized team, which is a social media team, which is doing a great job in terms of making sure that our residents are informed about all the latest developments in the city, be it service delivery issues and also emergencies which we come across as a city. So they can visit our social media platforms, the City of Johannesburg social media platform, and also our departmental social media platform, City of Johannesburg, Facebook, Twitter, and also our City of Johannesburg Emergency Management Services social media platforms where they can be able to get the latest updates, and also in any other media platform like your radio and other print media platforms which we use as the City of Johannesburg.